So, you know what schema theory is?
No, what is it?
Alright, so the schema theory defines cognitive schemas as a mental representation of knowledge. Mental representations, schemas, are stored in categories of concepts and memory. These schemas provide guidelines for interpretation of incoming information when people try to make sense of the world. Schemas influence cognition in that schemas create expectations about what will happen in specific situations. An example would be what a teacher is like or what you can expect to go to a rock concert. The schema theory can, to a large extent, explain reconstructive memory stereotype.
Oh, doesn't that apply to the study from Bartlett?
Yeah, so Bartlett, he introduced the concept of cultural schema in memory research.
Yeah.
And he suggested that schemas influence memory and that they lead to distortion or reconstructive memory. Other researchers suggest that the environment in which people live lead to specific cultural and social demands that influence the way they process information.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, it's good. In Bartlett's study, he used both male and female British participants, where he asked them to listen to a story, a Native American legend known as War of the Ghost, as shown here. After listening to the story, he had the participants go through either one of two methods, one where one was exposed to serial reproduction or repeated reproduction. Under serial reproduction, the participants had to recite what they had just listened to 15 minutes after they heard it, then after a certain amount of months or years. The other set of participants that were exposed to repeated reproduction had to retell the story to another participant, which they then had to tell to another, and so on. So from the study, Bartlett found out that there was no significant decrease between the recalled participants.
Both types of reproduction understood the main idea of the story, but they also experienced distortion, where they changed the story's details.
And one of the forms of distortion was assimilation, meaning that the participants changed the story in order to be more coherent with British culture.
There were 5 men in the boat. We were going up the stream. There was also leveling, whereas more of the story was told to participants. The shorter the story was in the recall due to participants ignoring details that would seem insignificant to them.
And there was also sharpening, meaning that they changed the order of the story in order to make more sense to the participants.
One night, 2 men from Black went up the damn river. You know that memories are not necessarily reliable and that the experiences that people have can be reconstructed.
So from this study, it was shown that it had low ecological validity due to being a controlled in lab setting.
Since it was only done on British participants, it has low applicability to other cultures.
And since Bartlett, he didn't want to give any standardized instructions to participants, it just made it exposed to leading compounds.
Next one.